Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Entropy. Howdy, Misa. Isn't it Buenos? Buenos noches? I've been hearing about this shrimp rationalist thing for weeks now, and I just can't believe that people are still even interested enough to engage with this kind of thing. But, you know, that's because of my experience, you know, going vegan long before everyone else, you know, for kind of rationalist-y, utilitarian-y kind of reasons, you know. I was way ahead of the curve going vegan, and then I was ahead of the curve moving away from that, and then I conquered all of these demons in my head a long time ago. Other people probably haven't just haven't thought about this stuff enough or as much. Enough makes it seem like it's their fault, but like there's no actual reason to think about this stuff. It's I don't know, it's stupid. We already are. I'm feeling good. Howdy, Mighty. Hope you're doing well. Unexamined life. That's just kind of easy mode, you know? Like if you I think if you want to live an examined life, deciding to examine your life is like changing the game to hard mode, right? Like the reward is potentially greater, like the eventual satisfaction is potentially much greater. But you're also subjecting yourself to a lot of pain, and it's unclear if you will ever get to the satisfaction on the other end of the pain. Unexamined is definitely the safer bet, in my opinion. Because like as soon as you start examining, then you can take responsibility for the things that you wish were different, right? And then but then you become the one steering the ship instead of just your environment, right? If you're fully unexamined, you can just blame your environment for everything, whatever. Your life is what it is. Like sure, it might suck in a lot of ways, but like not your fault. You know, once you start examining, then you have to accept that you know, maybe you can design your life, and that becomes very difficult. And that starts, and when you start designing your life, you are not good at that on the first try, right? You're not good at designing your life immediately. You take a lot of wrong turns. And you end up somewhere usually worse than where you started before you end up somewhere better than where you started. It's just very... It's just very complicated. My hair is less curly. I also have no idea what this conversation is about. I'm just saying things and maybe they make sense and maybe they don't. I know my nose is really itchy. I'm not sure why. Maybe some of those loose hairs got in my nose. I don't know, it just seems to me that overconfidence, right? Overconfidence. I think when you start examining your life, it tends to lead to this feeling of, oh, well, I can just change this and make my life better. And then... But you tend to not understand all of the consequences of changing particular things about your life, because life is complicated. Please open the door. And so you tend to make things worse. That's my experience, at least. Ouch. What if I just ended the stream right now? Baller. Baller backup. Thanks, Tanner. I don't know if I would say negative self-talk as your friend. Thanks, Niall. Thanks for good luck. By the way, it's really late, and I kind of don't want to stay up long enough to finish this run, but I wanted to do one attempt. But like, if this run gets really bad, I'm just gonna end the stream. What's up, Virginia? I mean, it's looking pretty bad already, to be honest with you. Virginia, thanks for the 3 months. Appreciate that support. Congratulations on a very slightly larger moon. Actually, it's not a larger moon. It's a slightly nearer moon, I should say. That's more accurate. Yeah, are the chatters with big moons compensating for something? That's a great question, actually. We should do a study on it. We should do a scientific study on this question. What are you implying, Misa? Check out my moon, though. Yo, Gosu. I'm having a great one. Had a very productive day in many ways. Unfortunately, none of those ways was practicing Majora's Mask or doing runs of Majora's Mask, but you know, we're squeezing one in. Maybe it'll, you know, you never know, maybe the stars will align. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Don. Yeah, we're playing a classic. One of the best activities of all time, I would say, Majora's Mask. Would you guys agree that Majora's Mask is one of the better activities ever made? I haven't been much of a stream watcher recently. It's really hard to get past like that exact spot. Mine says I have 33 viewers. Huge skill gate. Well, later on in the video, we look at his game, and it starts to make a little more sense. Basically, his game, spoilers, you kind of have to design the game for yourself. Like, you literally have to write on the cards what the cards do and stuff. Like, seemingly there's rules about what you can make the cards do, but you literally have to, like, make the cards yourselves. It is in a very real sense, not a game. Yeah. Howdy, Nina. Somebody link the video we're talking about. Oh, actually, I have it open. I posted this edited version of my stream rant from the other day. Which is what we're talking about. You do not have to subscribe to me on YouTube. Subscribe to The Sausage on YouTube. Subscribe to Jack Crawford on YouTube only if you like weird games. I don't know, man. Like, the video made no sense on so many different levels that I can't even really, like... I feel like I can't even make a hard... You know, I can't really come down hard against the video in any particular way because, like... He was just so unclear about what... what he means about, like, 20 different things. And then there were a lot of things that were clear enough, but also, like, were just nonsensical. Yeah, it's kind of a not even wrong situation. It's like a game generation framework. Yeah, I guess. I guess. It's, you know, it's like, it's sort of the strategy game version of Dungeons and Dragons almost. You know, like Dungeons and Dragons, you have the dungeon master or whatever who's like making the scenario. In this, you have like the whoever it is who's like designing the rule set for this strategy game that you're gonna play. And he seems to like Dungeons and Dragons a lot more than most games, most fake games. So I guess that makes sense. But he also, in the video, like, he rants about what's wrong with Dungeons and Dragons for quite a while, so I don't... It's very confusing. Yeah, it's me reacting to like an hour-long lecture. I'll just have to make it up to her later. It's fine. That's fine. Yeah, my main issue with his thing is just he seems to just genuinely not understand most, like, the majority of the things that are interesting about games. And so I find it very hard to take anything out of his theory. Like, the guy was responding to me on Twitter like mad. Maybe he wasn't mad, but he seemed upset that I was like laughing at the theory and like not really trying hard enough to take it seriously, and like he seemed to think that even though there are things that are wrong with it, like you can use it as a lens, and like if you think about games that way, you might make some interesting things. And maybe that's true, but I also think it's a way to like make it way harder to thinking about games that way is a way to make it just so much harder to make anything good, because you're ignoring 99% of what's interesting about games. The D&D movie? I've never heard of the D&D movie. I would say several people in here have pretty good YouTube channels. Yeah, I think if I'm trying to be as charitable, even if I'm trying to be as charitable as possible to his whole viewpoint, like, I think the thing that I said, at least one thing that I said is pretty damning, which is like, the thing about how games are not about the final strategy that you end up with after you play for 1,000 hours or whatever. The thing that we like about games is the getting better part. First and foremost. Yeah. He doesn't seem to have any consideration for that, which is like such a basic thing to me that you have to get right for me to care about your game. What kind of haircut do I get? Scissors kind? Or I don't know, what kinds are there? I just walk in after 2 months and I say, take 2 months off of this. Reverse time. Look at my hair and imagine what it looked like 2 months ago. And take me back. I've never done that before. Ouch. Thanks, Perp. Ooh. I think this is the right height. Really? That's fine. That's fine. What up, BD? Also, hello, Kita. Thank you for your very funny comment about Boss Baby. I wouldn't say that was clutch. I failed ISG and had to go back in the grotto, but you know, it's a run. Monkey do be getting the trim. Getting the cut, sorry. I'll try to remember to @ you if I am live reacting to anything similar in the future. I'm sure we would have gotten some more interesting comments in the video if you'd been there. I've never watched Boss Baby either, which, you know, that's kind of how I felt. You know, I'm kind of the guy who hasn't seen Boss Baby watching the video about how to make a movie by a guy who's only seen Boss Baby. That's kind of how I felt watching that thing. Honestly, it would probably look better if she did. Or if she had Agent. We were just talking about how there is not a single person who knows how to cut hair in this town. Well, failing the ISG and going back in the grotto is not even as bad as failing the flower skip in the intro. That's the main reason this run's bad. Well, fortunately, I can always just like let it. I can just like let my hair dry and not do anything to it, and it'll be like wavier than this and more chaotic in a way that's like harder to tell that I have a bad haircut. What am I? That is just not the right direction. Feels good when you realize that life doesn't end at 30. I also had an arc when I thought my life was going to end at 30. Fortunately, that arc for me ended around 28 or 29. I was ahead of the curve in that way. It does end at 40. I don't know. Currently, my life is getting way better. My life right now is so much better than it was at any point in my 20s. It's just getting better and better. I'm super white-pilled or whatever on life right now. But I did suffer a lot in my 20s trying to make things better and failing. I think maybe if you don't try in your 20s, then your 30s are going to suck. If you didn't try and fail really hard and learn a lot of hard lessons in your 20s, then your 30s maybe are going to suck. But if you did my strat, then 30s are likely to be a lot better. This run is life, I would agree. Is Misa my first real girlfriend? Depends on what you mean by real. Is there only one real game? Go for all the hard strats. I won't do that, but I will go for all my normal strats, which are pretty hard. Hello, Thomas. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Big Easy. Good genes, RNG. Yeah, the bunny hood strats. I probably lost time doing that yesterday, but maybe I can save time doing it today now that I'm used to it. Yeah, it didn't go too badly. It mostly was just the equip that I wasn't ready to do. I forgot. How I wanted to do that. That's so bad. I did that too. I practiced lullaby skip unbuffered in my 20s. So I could coast on Twin Islands unbuffered in my 30s, except for that run. But that was not because of the angle change, that was because of bad timing, so doesn't count. Okay, just barely enough bomb drops. I think that might be an issue for a couple of reasons. One being I would not be able to tolerate it, I'm pretty sure. I'd not be able to tolerate it for very long. We should raid someone watching Boss Baby, that's a great idea. Anyone want to volunteer? Volunteer their own stream? Wait! I should have inverted after that Chew has fail. This is kind of late now. And by Chew has fail, I mean turning upright fail. Hardest trick in the run. Not actually sure what went wrong there. I feel like that had to be a frame early, but it just felt not a frame early at all. Sometimes I just have to go back into practice and re-learn that shit. Why don't you recommend audio? Turn your volume down on your phone. I can hear myself think.
You mean you don't want to listen to your own stream?
I'm so lucky I didn't lose ISG there. Pretty slow, starting to worry a lot about in-game time.
Do you think if I play cat sounds, all the cats will come and watch your stream?
What are you even talking about? You mean outside?
No.
The cats around here?
No, all the cats.
Oh, all the cats in the viewers' houses?
Yeah, they'll all come and they'll want to watch your stream.
Thought you were gonna do the. I thought you were gonna do the cat girl sounds from that one game. Guys, should I? I'm thinking about. Nice, honest reaction. Guys, I'm thinking about the return of Super Puzzled Cat. What do we think?
But why in mine does he have no pants? And in his game he has pants. What is wrong? This game is so buggy.
What's the other weird cat game? Oh, right. Apple. I almost sneezed. I almost sneezed and failed at the last second. Classic the sausage maneuver. What was it called? Something Apple. Oh yeah, Pacarette. Oh yeah, Suneko, I think is the guy's name. I think the developer's name is Suneko, maybe. I don't know why I paused. I gotta finish Snackbird before I start another puzzle game. I don't expect to like Pacarette, but I am curious about it. Sounds like there's some unique stuff going on in there, from what I heard. Spooky Mask on B Ace. Ban in what category? What's up, Monk? How's it going, man? That's cool. It's not, though, because the run's basically dead to in-game time now. You gotta... This is not even a working angle, is it? Not good. I did see that, yeah. I will say... So first of all, I haven't played Last Call BBS yet, even.
Does Alabama have an ocean?
No?
I asked ChatGPT where the nearest ocean to where we live is, and it said the Gulf of Mexico in Alabama.
Doesn't Alabama just border on the, like, panhandle of Florida or whatever? Am I crazy? I'm not the geography expert, but...
And then second of all, it's not the Gulf of Mexico,
It's the Gulf of America, now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ChatGPT is just extra stupid.
very true.
And then it said the second nearest beach is in Mississippi. Is there a beach in Mississippi?
That's not gonna work. I'm so sad.
Yeah, doxed. Everyone knows now that we live
That's
in
not even true,
Alabama.
though. Yeah, that's literally not even true. Which one is closer is just wrong. I was trying to say something about Zachtronics. I haven't really formulated this as a thought yet. I mean... that seemed fine to me, timing-wise, but whatever.
Oh, I thought we were on day 2 of ChatGPT just making up stuff.
So, you know, I played a lot of Zachtronics. All of them up through Malik Sentes. And I kind of came, you know, I really like Space Chem. I really liked Space Chem when I first played it, especially, and really like TIS 100. Really like Shenzhen IO. I would say I still really like those games, and would could go back to them and have a good time. In fact, I went back to TIS 100 and optimized a lot of my levels and had a good time a while back. But I kind of feel a couple of things that make me less excited about Zachtronics games going forward, which is part of why I still haven't played Last Call BBS. One thing is, it feels like the concept, like the subgenre, whatever, has kind of run out of steam. Like, I don't necessarily feel like there's a lot more room in there for new ideas that are substantially different from what's already been done. And it feels like Zach kind of maybe thinks that too, because he was trying to make other things work. He was trying different tactics games and stuff, and they just didn't sell well. And he also like did Moloch Sentes, which is like a pretty minor variant on Opus Magnum, really. Like, a lot of it is pretty similar to Opus Magnum. It's not as original as the previous games in that format that he made. And so that's one thing, is that I'm not sure how much more gas there is left in the tank for that style of game, at least from Zach. It might take somebody else coming in and having some crazy twist idea. But then the other thing is, I've come to really appreciate a game with more targeted design, like puzzles with more targeted design. Like, the parts that I like, you'll notice that the Zachtronics games that I like the most are the 3 hardest ones, right? Or of their like main commercial games, it's like the 3 hardest ones. It's Space Chem, TIS, and Shenzhen. And the parts that I like the most are the parts that are like really hard to even solve the level at all. And yeah, I think the fact that you can optimize the levels and get better solutions and stuff, that's cool, but like it kind of feels like just playing a sloppier puzzle game that's not as like, you know, you're not playing intended level design that someone put care into making this experience really interesting, or making sure that this puzzle that you're working on is really interesting, right? You're potentially doing something that is kind of tedious, or like whatever, you know. It just doesn't feel like, you know, if I'm playing handcrafted levels, I want the actual experience that I'm having to be very like targeted at me and not this kind of loosey-goosey thing that Zachtronics games represent. I kind of came to view Zachtronics as not really that different most of the time from like a regular puzzle game, like say more of a Sokoban style puzzle game. It's just that the level design is kind of sloppier sometimes. And where that format shines is like, there are places where it shines, like figuring out something. It's cool that in TIS 100, for example, like you have all of the abilities from the very beginning of the game. You know, you don't unlock any new functions or anything. You just learn a lot more about what you have, and that makes it feel kind of nice that well, I don't know. That doesn't. I think there's something about that where you come back to the early levels later, and you use the knowledge that you gained, and you see how cool it is that you could have done all of this all along. But I think most of the Zachtronics games, the most interesting part is solving them for the first time. Or there's like interesting stuff buried in the optimization in some weird way. Like I think Opus Magnum, from what I've read about like the super high level optimization, I've heard that it seems like it gets really, really interesting, but I'm never gonna like, I'm never gonna play the game that much because the game isn't that fun at like the normal skill level, in my opinion. I don't know. This is a very unfocused ramble, but wow. Okay. I guess that was early. Guess I anticipated it a little bit. But now I guess I can go a little bit toward the ranch before I uninvert, because this was scary. Guess I'll stop like here. Oh, it's not fully open. Yeah, it's somewhere in between, and I think I kind of just straight up like tight puzzle game and don't like Factorio. I don't. It's not like I need. It doesn't really feel like I need this other thing that's more of a in-between style. Get in there, man. I think I'm gonna go for a super slide here to skip mask transformation. What up, Jess? I'm gonna end up in a really weird spot here. It's fine.
Have fun ranting.
Okay, okay, see ya.
I'm gonna get out of here before you make me turn it into a YouTube video and I'm in the background or something.
No, this is not gonna be a YouTube video. This is way too, like, stupid. This is way too incoherent. But, I don't know. There's something I'm trying to say here, but I just can't figure out what it is right now. Oh yeah, but the ones that I recommend, that's what I was gonna say. I absolutely recommend didn't get magic. Unfortunate. I absolutely recommend Space Chem, NTIS 100, and Shenzhen IO. And honestly, I recommend Infinifactory as well. Honestly, I recommend all the games, but for different people. Like, if you want an easier, more approachable Zachtronics game, I absolutely recommend Infinifactory or Opus Magnum. And if you want a more approachable one of the like actual coding ones, I recommend Exapunks. I mean, I recommend Exapunks no matter what. It's pretty good. Exapunks is probably my fourth favorite. It's complicated. But yeah, I've also become RNG pilled since playing those games. So like playing trying to okay. Doing gameplay that's not human designed and also not like doing a level that is not human designed and also not RNG designed feels like worst of both worlds to me. I don't know if I can fully explain what I mean by this, but like the benefit of human designed levels is that you get something very targeted, and it's, you know, the designer can make a set of levels, make the full set of levels in the game and sequence them in such a way that they're like very precisely, they know very precisely what you understand at any given time. And they can give you just the right challenge at just the right moment and, you know, give you a little bit of a twist and surprise you when you're kind of in this mode of like expecting this one type of thing. They can give you something different, and you know, like they can play with your expectations in a very particular way, and they can also, it's also more, you can also make a more dense game that way with only like you know, designed levels. Because, you know, you can curate very carefully what's in the game. But the downside is you only get what the player only gets to play what the designer has come up with. I went too fast, unfortunate. Where the player only gets to play what the designer has come up with, whereas RNG can come up with levels that are potentially very interesting that the designer maybe never would have thought of, and potentially take you deeper into your understanding of the game's systems and stuff like that. But like these levels that are designed around one specific solution, like in the Zachtronics games, the levels are like designed around one specific solution, and so the way the level is structured is optimized to make that one thing interesting and make that a good experience to solve. And then it's like whatever other things are happen to be hidden in there, you can solve those as like a bonus if you want to, or like something like that is true. And I think that's actually just worse than RNG. If you start trying to solve those bonus puzzles, by which I mean like optimizing it further after you have like the intended solution, or the solution that Zach had in mind. I want to switch that. If you start trying to optimize it further, you're typically you're basically solving a puzzle. You're solving a puzzle that is worse than RNG designed. It's worse than a randomly generated puzzle because it was designed for a different purpose. Am I making sense at all? I feel like I'm starting to be coherent here. It would be better to have RNG puzzles, actually, at that point. But really, like, if you have a game that's built around randomly generated puzzles or randomly generated levels of any kind, what you want to do is... Well, no, I guess Zachtronics games do what I was about to say, like... pretty well, at least. They like structure the game systems and score systems such that the puzzles are guaranteed to give different levels of like you can take on as much challenge as you want when you look at that puzzle. I don't know, that's not really relevant to what I was saying. I don't know. I should give up on trying to say. I should give up on trying to make these complicated points that probably need to be like... I probably need to sit down and like write about this for a long time before I can speak coherently about it. But it's not just about puzzles. This is something about level design and purposeful level design versus like, you know, curated level design versus randomly generated, which is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and my views have changed quite a bit on over the years. Ah, frame early. I'm being perfectly coherent. Well, I'm glad you think so. That actually means a lot. I think the video that I put out today, it actually does lay out a lot of my fundamental thoughts on game design are laid out in that video. Just in a way that is it's in the context of a very unserious joking around type of thing. But yeah, I should maybe try some kind of more serious video essay or something at some point. But I guess one like thing to say in defense of Zachtronics games after everything I just said is that most of what I said is about like the structure of the games not being quite what I want, and like, or like it's about the optimization part of the game, which you can totally ignore. And actually the first time I played through most of these games, I mostly ignored the optimization part and just played through the levels. Or like I went back and like did some optimizing on previous levels when I was stuck on a late game level or something. But otherwise I didn't care too much about optimizing my scores. And probably when I actually need to try to get a magic drop here. Oh my god. Please. Thank you. That was really unfortunate. And actually, I might be late. I'm gonna be late now, I think. I'm gonna have to go to Andrew before I go to buy the potion, I think. It's just the VOD edited. Yeah, there's nothing new. If you were here the whole time, probably do not need to watch it. Yeah, this video was not is not intended to hit the masses, hit the algorithm or anything like that. Contrary to what you might believe from how much effort we put into the thumbnail.
We.
That's what I said, we.
We.
I put a lot of effort into the thumbnail too, it wasn't just you. I don't know if you guys can even hear me, so. I really thought that was gonna be fun. But yeah, I'll probably play. I'm sure I'll play Last Call BBS and maybe the new thing eventually. But did you say it's like supposed to? It's like for everyone or something like that. Sounds like the opposite of what I want. I also haven't seen much hype for it, but I guess people maybe just don't know it exists or something. The Kaizen Factory or whatever it's called, I mean. Scary. It really does look amazing. I'm very excited for that game. Even though I have to play all the base games over again, apparently. I have to play all the promised games and the Alan Hazelden games and Heroes of Sokoban games over again. Although apparently they made some changes to those original levels. But in any case, there's a lot of game after that, so... Looking forward to that. No. Like, the games are literally in the game, like the first part of Jonathan Blow's new game is literally these old puzzle script games that existed before, but with fancy new graphics. Oh, I forgot to split. And then the later part of the game is they get combined into the same, into one big complicated mess. Um, yeah, he went to Alan and said that, and actually Alan was, you know, didn't want to do it, and they made a deal where Alan said that he would let him do it if well, so I think Alan, my understanding is that Alan was mad about being a part of this thing that didn't have any underrepresented game designers um, games in it. So like, you know, it takes games from Alan Hazelden and from Sean, whatever his name is, who made Promised, and the Heroes of Sokoban guy, Jonah Ostroff or something. And those are all like white dudes, I guess. And so Alan Hazelden was upset about that. He tried to get Jonathan Blow to take games from underrepresented developers or something. Jonathan didn't want to do that. He liked this set of games that he had in mind. And so they came to an agreement where Alan would let Jonathan do this if Jonathan would make a like scholarship or like a charity thing or like a program. I forget what I'm failing to think of the right word, but like Jonathan did something a while back where he like announced that Thekla was giving grants. That's the word. He's giving grants to like underrepresented puzzle game developers, and that was because of his deal with Alan. That he gave out all those grants. There should be a Sylvie grant. Guys, Sylvie is creatively blocked right now, and I'm suffering. What's gonna be on my game of the year list, man? Like, my top 5 games of every year are Sylvie games. Since 2022 at least. I truly don't know what's gonna be on my game of the year list. I guess Snackbird. And that's it. Every Saga game. Kita, are you Saga pilled? I don't know, my excitement has kind of faded on Saga 1. I think I'm close to the end, but it's gotten a bit less interesting. Or a bit less interesting as it's gone on. Good games are very underrepresented this year. Someone should give out some grants for that. I see. Did you see the Silvcore games list, Kita? Okay, just making sure. It's a pretty interesting list. Mostly what I would have expected from following her for a while, but a couple of surprises. Red. Yeah, but the run's super alive. Chill out. Is that not gonna work? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. You've played more Silvercore games than you would have expected? Which ones have you played? Trying to think of what you've played. Guessing you haven't played Elephantasy or Elephantasy 2 or Bobo the Cat. You haven't played the 3 Saga games that are on there. You probably haven't played Tower of Druaga. Oops. Don't think you've played Battle Garega. Have you played Summon Knight Swordcraft Story? Oh, Void Stranger. I forgot that was on there. Oh yeah, Gimmick, and yeah, Umihara Kawase. I played a good bit of that game, but I kind of feel like I should give it another chance. I feel like I might have been missing some key thing that I was supposed to figure out. I mean, there's just a lot of things to figure out about the movement in that game, but I would not count the Final Fantasy Legend from 5 minutes. That was kind of a good split. I'm curious what you would think about Bobo the Cat. But since it's a Metroidvania, I think you might compare it to Super Metroid and hate it. How did that happen? Literally, how did that happen? I really need to play Gimmick. I haven't touched it. Never tried it. Feeling very brain dead right now. I'm not particularly Sylve-pilled either. Although... yeah, it's like... Oh, that was weird. It's like there are elements that I like a lot to all of the games that Sylvie likes the most, but there are also elements that I really, really don't like, and you know, when Sylvie is inspired by those games, that's great because I like get the things that I like in a package that usually works better for me. But like, I'm pretty sure there's no chance I'm ever playing Tower of Druaga. I've read about it. It's interesting, but I don't see why I would ever try to actually play it. I mean, I guess it could be cool to have multiple people you know, try to emulate the arcade. Why did I swap those? Try to emulate the original arcade experience by like having a group of people playing it all at the same time and discussing and sharing secrets and stuff. That would be cool, but am I ever gonna make that happen? Probably not. I don't know. I guess I'm a big streamer. I can make something like that happen. I should start streaming Battle Garega, actually. What is that bug doing? Okay. Thought I was gonna get stuck. Just awful ability to remember my equips today. But yeah, Battle Garega might be my next big, like post speedruns, post attempts game, on stream game. That might be the Silv Core game that I expect to like the most of the ones I haven't played. Oh, thanks, Stormed. That's very nice. I watched a bit of yours as well. Watched a good bit of yours. Hope you were happy with how it went. What's up, Grim? Thanks, Wookies. We're slowly but surely bringing this run back. My mid games have been a lot more consistent recently. That feels good. I mean, that Spider House was not good. But, you know, overall, this mid game has been solid. It's hard to make Alien Split truly consistent, it's just so hard. There's just so much shit that loses so much time. But the mid game is a lot easier to make consistent, so feels... Yeah, it feels like I'm in a good place right now to get the 211 soon. This is driving me insane though. Yeah, I did kind of want to see Xbox. That again, man. I think maybe I can go for this, though. I don't know. The run sucks, so I'll go for it. Nice. Xbox Dead Arcade. You want ice cream? Well, we will get ice cream in 2 months. when we're allowed to have ice cream. Well, you're not the one who was eating like 800 calories worth of ice cream per day, Misa. If I can if I can survive without ice cream, you can definitely survive without ice cream. In case anyone's wondering, yes, I actually was doing that. How did I afford so much ice cream? It was very expensive. It's because my generous patrons give me like $1 sometimes to read off a cancer message about M&Ms. That's how I afforded it. Yeah, the twin mold was pretty good. Oh yeah, the in-game time. I was gonna bait a little bit harder with the time running out, but there's just like too much time. I can't tolerate like weird ice cream flavors. Like I just eat ice cream that's like plain ass shit, minimal ingredients. I was eating 800 calories a day of chocolate Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which is basically like like $7 a day worth of ice cream. Fuck off, man. I just can't do this stupid variable lag trick. I swear I did the exact same timing that time, and it was 2 frames early. Misa, isn't Tillamook the one that we had at some place?
That's the one that we had at the resort place.
Okay. Everyone around here says that ice cream is amazing. I thought it was pretty mid, not gonna lie. But they might have been like keeping it too cold or something. Like that's like a serious factor that you have to consider.
What flavor did you try? Do you remember?
Didn't I have cookies and cream? There's an ideal temperature. People don't understand. Whoops. I'm doing a diet to kill Klebsiella and Candida, both of which dominate my gut microbiome, according to a stool test that I had several years ago, at least. Ouch. When you walking. Do we have when you walking as an emote in here? I don't think we do, and we really need to fix that. Did bro just grab me and mess that up, or what? Wait, I should have turned around first. Alright, that's Jover. So I guess I got there too early was the problem? Okay, I mean. New strats are too hard. Yeah, don't get C-section pilled. The information is too much to bear for us C-section babies. Anyway, they cause a lot of like autoimmune problems and allergies and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. The things, the bad things that I have cause those things. Okay. Thanks for watching. Go watch my rant on YouTube if you want. Or go watch... what is this?
Oh, my whole body hurts.
Go watch this. Maybe? I don't know. Go do whatever you want. See you tomorrow for the last stream before we go out of town for another week. Bye-bye.